Alrighty guys, let's go. I am absolutely fired up for today's episode. Welcome back to the Squishy Sports Podcast, episode deuce. And firstly, just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who tuned in, listened, or watched in episode 1. I had an absolute ball doing it. The early reviews I've had has been really good. I absolutely love doing it. Just talking the shit about sport. Another great weekend. The Warriors got up, the All Blacks got up. The Wilds girls put in a gallant effort, and do I support the Carolina Panthers? Yes, I do. Cop the fat L there. So I'm so fired up for this episode. We've got so much to cover. We have got, we'll start with the latest sporting news around the world. I will cover a deep review of the latest NRL Round 24 clashes and NRLW Round 7 as well. And also, you might see in my NRLW the Women's Player of the Week. Just tune in for the stat line that you'll hear for our Women's Player of the Week that played in the NRLW over the weekend. Absolutely insane. So, as I said, we have got so much to cover this episode. Talk a little bit about NFL preseason as well. We just had our Week 2 clashes over the weekend. I mean, apart from my result, it was still a lot to take in. Still so much to learn and so much to adjust to coming into week 1 of the NFL season, which kicks off in 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks. Oh, buzzing. Alrighty, so start with the latest sporting news around the world. It's going to be a bit of random stuff just to sort of cover the tracks. So much has happened. Real random stuff. I'll start with a bit of a lighthearted one. Snoop Dogg is doing the AFL Grand Final entertainment, which, I mean, pretty unreal that they were able to get Snoop Dogg to Melbourne to the AFL Grand Final. You know, if they don't let him have a smoke beforehand, there's something hugely wrong. It's just the Snoop Dogg way. We were talking about Snoop Dogg here. We're literally, if you're going to get Snoop Dogg, that's what you got to get with it. So I absolutely love it. I'm very intrigued to see how it would go. Haven't really tuned into too much AFL this season, but definitely always tune into the Grand Final. Big one happened earlier this week. The next topic, and that is Paramount Plus has done a $7.7 billion deal with UFC. So that means UFC can be completely scrapping pay-per-view TV, which, I mean, for especially people in Australia, it's on a really good time. Generally starts like midday around there, like your key fights. It is huge to be able to watch at home easily, nice and affordable. Paramount Plus, it's going to be available to all your subscribers. So I think it's around $20 a month. That's going to be amazing value, 100%. It definitely cops a little bit for like your Aussie pubs and bars that were hosting the UFC events on Sunday. I'm sure they will still get like a good turnout. But the fact that you can watch it at home for so much cheaper, it's going to make a huge difference to UFC and the UFC viewing. So Dana White, congrats. Yeah, I tip my hat to you for sure. All right, so we're going to cover a little bit of baseball headlines. I'm just going to cover a little bit the Milwaukee Brewers, man. They just had their first loss today. They had 14 wins in a row before today. They just lost in the 10th inning to the Cincinnati Reds. Even though they're 1-0 down the whole game, I was tuning in a little bit this morning, and they've just got that dog in them. They've just got that dog in them at the moment. And in the 9th inning, they pulled it back. They took the lead at 2-1. I saw the live odds around 650. Cincinnati managed to level up in the 9th, and then they get the win in the extra innings. So they have stopped the Brewers' 14-game win streak. They are well on top of the National League. They're 8.5 games, or about probably 7.5 games ahead of Phillies now. Phillies had a win today against Washington. I am, as I said, recording on a Monday in Australia. So they've had some epic wins. They came back from 8-1 down against the Reds in the first game of the series on Saturday. Won about 10-8. That was insane. If you are watching a video, by the way, I do have some few notes on my laptop here. So if you see me looking down, it's just a little keep track. Absolutely great. And then the Blue Jays were the first to 70 wins in the American League, and they're just a little bit ahead of Detroit at the moment. Detroit got absolutely spanked today. So did the Blue Jays, actually. Holy hell. Landed at 14 runs or something. Seattle is also charging up there. You absolutely love to see the Mariners. Are they going to compete come playoffs time? Oh, geez, history would probably say no. But Cal Riley, he's in fantastic form at the moment. Don't know if he's an MVP shout. Apparently he is, but he's absolutely smoking the home runs at the moment. We'll quickly talk about rugby, and we won't talk about the All Blacks, but actually my rival, essentially, or if people think I'm Australian as well because I was born here, the Wallabies. The goddamn Wallabies. They have absolutely upset South Africa in Johannesburg, of all places. Their first win in 62 years, which is absolutely insane. They were down 22-0 after about 20 minutes, and you just thought, it's the Wallabies' fault. They've had a big series against the Lions, and, they've played somewhat well. Either the Lions weren't that good, or maybe the Wallabies or South Africa is just that good. Never would have thought in a million years South Africa up 22-0, the back-to-back World Cup champions, would let the Wallabies score 38 unanswered points. And actually a full credit to them. Fully deserved the 38 as well. Absolutely, just tore South Africa apart. Shout out to Joseph Suali'i, first try for the Wallabies as well. Really good to see, obviously, such a young, huge talent in Australian sport at the moment. Had a really good opportunity at the Roosters, even better opportunity to go over and test his talent at rugby union, playing for the Waratahs. He will be at the Wallabies World Cup 100% in 2027, so in a couple years' time. He'll 100% be there. Whether he comes back to rugby league after rugby union, after that World Cup, I think he might. I think there's going to be a lot more money in the NRL. I do think even better opportunity. There's a couple of new teams. I do think he would probably come back to Sydney and most likely the Roosters as well. But you just never know. But I can definitely see him easily being over $1 million player in the NRL. He probably deserves to be. The salary cap in a couple of years' time, or even a few years' time, will be a little bit higher. You got Perth coming in. You got PNG coming in as well. There's going to be a lot of money floating around. I think a club, a desperate club maybe, or if it's not the Roosters, will definitely throw the bag at him. But back to what I was saying, big shout out to, the Wallabies. It's kind of good to see, like, as a All Blacks fan, as someone who has grown up in a Kiwi family, being surrounded by All Blacks, and that's it. And the big games were against the Wallabies, and they were really competitive. And the crowds you used to get in Sydney, in Melbourne, and even the Brisbane test against New Zealand would sell out in just minutes. We're talking 52,000. And your players like your Gregans, your Larkhams, your Lathams, they were so good. And like your John Eales, like the last person to win in New Zealand, he's kicked a penalty after the siren to beat the All Blacks in Wellington. But like, New Zealand All Blacks have won the Bledisloe like 18 years in a row, or even more now. You kind of want to see a bit more competitiveness, not competitiveness, but the competition. Like, it gets to this sort of time where we start to play Australia, and the result now is just like New Zealand by how many? And that's all due respect to the Wallabies, and that's like, they just haven't had the talent pool there. They just haven't had the grassroots there, and you kind of love to see a win like this for them. I really do hope for Australian fans and just Australian sport lovers that they get some sort of passion back for the Wallabies and rugby union, because it is a really good sport, and it is so much better for New Zealand rugby as well when the Wallabies are actually making a really good fist of it against the All Blacks. It really brings that fire back. This is me not saying that the fire is gone, but more intensity. Like, we know what the potential of it is like. We know the Wallabies can be potentially back to a semi-final team in a World Cup or even a final. They've obviously won the World Cup in 1999, I believe. Lost in a final in 2003. They got to the semi in 2011. All Blacks beat them. Got to a semi in 2015 as well. There's always potential there. It's just a matter about keeping their players in union at the moment. Like, it's either converting to league or there's just losing interest once it gets to high school or something like that. So, as I said, you love to see it for the Wallabies. 38-22. Can they back it up this weekend? I believe they go to Cape Town, play South Africa again. So week 2 of the Rugby Championship. It'll be massive to back it up. This is like probably their best win in definitely the last 20 years, easily for sure. They've definitely had a couple cracker wins like against the All Blacks, like in Brisbane and whatnot. But against the back-to-back world champs, this was definitely something for them to look back to and something for them to look forward to for sure in regards to like how they can actually play. Like, and you know, were they competitive with the Lions? Yes and no. I think you could clearly see there was a talent and just an overall level difference between the two sides. Yes, you've got a mixture of 4 different countries made up in the Lions side, but I think you could see that there was a clear execution side of things. It's just a little bit different and experience side of things that came with it as well. So I'll touch on the All Blacks in a little bit. Actually, let's just do it now. All Blacks had, I think, a great win against Argentina, winning by about 17. I was able to watch most of this game Sunday morning here in Australia. I said, yeah, overall pretty happy. Like, you know, it's our 4th game of the year. We've had our series win against the French, which like I was pretty happy with as well. Like, I know what All Blacks' first games of the years can be like. I know over the last few years, I feel like we've definitely not been at our potential for sure. Maybe I reckon that's in the last 6, 7, 8 years as well. As I said, I was really happy. I really like Beauden Barrett at 10. I'm definitely a Beauden Barrett guy at 10. I've been a Beauden Barrett guy for a very long time, ever since 2013, 2014, when he was coming through the Hurricanes and starting really young and getting there for the All Blacks. Coming off the bench for Dan Carter in the World Cup final 2015, scoring that beautiful try under the sticks to seal the deal. I do like Beauden Barrett at 10. There's just a couple like moments still with the All Blacks that you think from maybe like over 10 years ago with your Richie McCaw days. And I just... like, there's just 20-minute periods, and we know, like, the last 20-minute periods for the All Blacks and against the French were not that great. Last year it was very, very similar as well. This time it was just after halftime. I thought we had a great first half. I thought we were pretty solid. We had a couple defensive lapses. Did have that yellow card, which, I mean, look, we won't get into it too much, but I thought the ref was somewhat harsh. He pulled out straight away for a penalty. Seems like it's the go these days in Union. He was consistent. The Pumas did get a yellow card in the second half. But it was just that 40th to 60th. I thought Argentina, all credit to the Pumas. They played really well in that period. I thought they absolutely kicked our ass in that 20 minutes. But I thought we were also really poor. We were just penalty after penalty after penalty. Had a yellow card in there. Just silly errors. We were just looking complacent in a time where we're leading at halftime, and I believe we're up by 10 at halftime. It was just the kind of performance where you're like, cool, that was a really solid first half, but let's finish it off. Let's put these guys into the ground. We're the All Blacks. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where we're the All Blacks. Put them away. We've got the talent. It's not like you sub Beauden Barrett off and there's some, second tier player coming through. Like, you got Damian McKenzie to come on. And he's arguably one of the best 15s in the world. You've got Will Jordan at the back. You've got Geordie Barrett. there's still, you know, Adi Sevilla. We've got this team that I just, sometimes it's just, it doesn't feel like All Blacks rugby. That might seem contentious, but it just feels a bit not the vibe. So that, I don't know how to sound. It's just, you just watch and you're like, is that All Blacks rugby? Is that really what I grew up on for all those years, where we were so blessed to have those players? Your Richie McCaws, your Dan Carters. But I'm seeing that from this All Blacks team, I think. And I do love the crop that is coming through. And I believe we do still have the best players in the world. I absolutely love Will Jordan. Sorry, just smashed my mic. I love Will Jordan. I love Beauden Barrett. There's still a couple selections where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't believe Cortez Ratama had his best game at 9. Shout out to Dad for his analysis on Cortez Ratama. Just wanted a bit better service to Beauden out of those set pieces. Just wasn't quite finding the right passes. Just wasn't quite nailing his passes. Beauden Barrett, he's got the pace. Once he gets onto that ball, a good ball from his 9, he's gone. He can do his work and he can absolutely go. That's where Beauden Barrett shines. If the service is just a touch bit off, it just touches the pace half a second. And that starts the sprint a little bit later. And then you can't quite do what you want because the defense is already adjusted. So it was just a touch bit off. He did score a try under 6, good support. But I saw as soon as Finlay Christie came on, the pass was absolutely nailed. And we put him away in the last 20 minutes. I really liked that last 20 minutes. I thought, even particularly last 15, I thought we were really strong. Takiaho barged over for a couple tries to seal the deal. Like, that's what we want to see, and that's what we're used to seeing. And I can definitely vouch for the fact that I've been so lucky, and yes, it's our New Zealand's national sport. We should be like up there in the rankings, but we were number 1 ranking my whole childhood until I was about 16 or 17, probably when South Africa won the World Cup in 2021. Is when New Zealand wasn't number 1 in the world anymore. That's how much success they've had. They've had years where they haven't lost, where they've had 14 wins, 0 losses. We've won back-to-back World Cups, 2011, 2015, first ever nation to do it. And it's good to see like your South Africa and Ireland competing, and as I said, I love Australia compete, but at the same time, you still expect the standards. And what I mean by standards is you probably still expect the same result, and that is winning. We love winning. That's enough about me about the All Blacks. We play the Pumas again next Sunday, so hopefully we can get another bonus point win. That would be really nice to see. All right, quickly. The darts. If you don't know me, I love a little bit of darts. Shout out Dad as well. He absolutely loves his darts. I get all my darts updates from him. So this is what this podcast was about. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, Dad. So Luke Littler. They're down under at the moment on the tour. Luke Littler won the Australian Darts Masters. Not the weekend gone, but the weekend prior. So about a week and a half ago now. He won that. He won that about 8-5 in the final or something. They've gone to Auckland just this weekend past the New Zealand Darts Masters, and he's done the Anzac double. This kid is 18. He beat his good mate Luke Humphries in the final 8-4. Haven't been able to watch it. But this kid, he's 18. This guy is the man. And he won the World Championship at the start of the year. He's done all 3 legs of the 3 big majors so far. He's done the Grand Slam and he's done the Premier League. He's 18. He's 18. This guy is the best. I think he's the best darts player on the planet. And this guy, I think he's going to break Phil Taylor's record. I think he's going to win more than 16 World Championships. I think he will I think he'll get 20 plus. This kid is 18 and he's this good already. He's clearly talented. It's not a sport that you have to try and keep active for. He will be throwing darts until he's about 60 or when he wants to retire. He's still got 40 more years. 40 more years to still win world championships. And he's the best player already. Like, this guy's going to create history. Shout out to Luke. He is absolutely unreal. One of my favorite players to watch as well. And he's such a good entertainer. Loves the big fish checkout. But as I said, he's 18 years old and he's the best darts player in the world. I think that's pretty insane. He also made the final last year as a 17-year-old out of nowhere. And he just kept going from there. Kid's so good. You absolutely love to see it. Quickly talk about cricket. Aussie have just played South Africa in a quick 3-game T20 series, mainly up north in Cairns and Darwin. 1-1 heading into the third T20. Glenn Maxwell, of course, Glenn Maxwell, the big show. Hits a 6 off the second last ball for Australia to beat South Africa. 2-1 in the series. They actually start an ODI series tomorrow, but if you're listening, it'll be today it starts. That's a 3-game series, but we're getting closer to the summer of cricket. The Ashes is just around the corner. Let's bloody go. All right. Yeah. All right. So, couple more sports to cover. We'll quickly touch on the golf that's just happened over the weekend. So, heading into, I'm recording, I said you would have seen it yesterday, but you woke up, Bobby McIntyre had a 4-shot lead going into the final round against Scotty Scheffler, BMW Championship. Second last event of the season, heading to the Tour Championship this week. You would have loved to see Bobby get the win, but I mean, Scheffler, man, he is insane this year. He is not this year, but since about 2021, 2022, he's so far better than the number 2 ranked player on the planet by an absolute country mile. He ended up having a 3 under last round to win by 2 over Bobby McIntyre. What set him apart? The chip in on the 17th today yesterday that he had. He had to land it about 4 foot on the green running away from him, and he from the deep rough on a par 3, you got to get up and down to make your par. He just landed this thing to perfection, rolled out, released, rolled, and just flopped in the front door. He's won so many times recently, but that's just what winners do. They know how to win, and that's what you want to see from your best ranked player in the golf as well. You want to see him, like Tiger, pull off the best shots when it matters. That's what the best ranked player in the world should be doing. So hats off to Scotty Scheffler. I believe that's his 5th win this year, which is just fucked. That is just insanely good golf. Tour Championship next week. No Aussies have made it, which is the first time in a while. And we also talked about last week, poor Tommy Fleetwood in the tournament the other week. Poor guy, at the Travelers, he had the lead all round. He pretty much parred the front 9, and he had 3 real quick birdies on the back 9, and he thought this was finally the time. Bogey 17, pars 18. His good mate Justin Rose, fellow countryman, an Englishman, gets him on the last. He gets into a playoff and he wins it. So credit to Justin Rose for the other week as well in the Travelers. He will be at the Ryder Cup. So will Tommy though, so no stress there. Quickly took over to the ladies golf because just want a quick honourable mentions. Grace Kim, she's an Aussie from New South Wales. She finished solo 5th this week, which is super awesome to see. And then shout out to my really good friend Cassie Porter. She finished T11 this week, so awesome to see. She had a 5 on the last round today. She's in her rookie season of the LPGA at the moment, and she's been killing it. No, she's loving it as well. So quick shout out to her. Super proud of the achievement she's had this year. And T11, I know that win is coming around the corner for her. So keep an eye out for sure, 100%. And to finish off, last sport of the episode, guys, thank you for tuning in. It has been a long one. Holy dooly. Let's get into the NFL preseason quickly. We had a full slate of NFL preseason so far this week. We've got one game tomorrow with the Bengals and the Commanders. 15 games so far this week. But let's just mainly talk about my Carolina Panthers. Oh, lordy. So we'll start on a bit of news during the week from just what I heard in training camps. We did have a training camp joint practice against the Texans. So we were essentially practicing against them in practice a few days, and then you go play them essentially in a preseason game. All the word that we had out of training camp was that Bryce Young was having a lot of success against, that was on our defense, admittedly, which was I was getting pumped up about, and then I kept reading and it said Andy Dalton had success as well and was throwing really good. Leads me to wonder, was it Bryce Young playing really well and getting me excited? Or was it the shitty defense that we are going to have this year? I was hoping for Bryce Young, but after what I saw on Saturday, I'll get into a little bit, the defense needs to be questioned. However, getting back into what we heard during the week, Derek Brown is absolutely killing it coming back from injury. He's expected to be an absolute beast again this year and is expected to make the Pro Bowl. Hunter Renfro's back at practice. Really good to see. Has not played since 2023. Sat out the whole of last year. He's been traded from the Raiders. Really intrigued to see how he goes. He had a couple receptions, or one reception in the preseason game against the Texans. I believe he's going to be like a WR4 by looking at our depth chart. So speaking of our depth chart at wide receiver, it goes Ted McMillan looks like he's going to be our WR1, which is really interesting. Adam Thielen at 2, and then you got Xavier Legette at 3. So they're going to be our 3 receivers mainly in our starters. And it looks like Tommy Tremble will also be our tight end, our starting tight end. So in terms of offense, I'm not too worried. I really liked Rico Dowdle as well, and I also really like Chuba Hubbard. So I'm optimistic about our offense, and we've got a good offensive line. Let's get into the absolute shit show that I am not impressed with at all. That is our defense. Obviously, we had the worst defense last year. You got the worst defense last year. Do you expect to go to number 1 the next year in defense? Absolutely not. Do you expect some sort of improvement where you go, okay, there's a good system lining up here. It's going to be improved this year. Yes, this is preseason that we are talking about. Holy shit, they could not stop the fucking run for shit. Woody Adams was tearing us apart. They're going about 5-6 yards a carry. They had about, I've got these stats here, they had about 160 yards on the ground. They completely dominated us. And really worried about our run defense again this year. I don't know if we're going to be able to stop too much. We've got the Jags week 1 that we've touched on. We'll see how they go. They're definitely a bit more of a pass first offense. I'm still very scared. I think that game goes way over week 1. I think it goes way over 46. And then I said our defense. I think we're going to have a lot of high scoring games this year. I just think we're going to be chasing because our defense will not be able to stay on the field. They're just going to get punished. I just think they're going to get rinsed again unless I see it. And our offense was super poor as well. Admittedly, Bryce Young played 2 drives. I believe McMillan played 2 drives. A lot of our starters played 1 or 2 drives to start. But what I got from this game, McMillan will be a star. He's clearly got this X factor that we are looking for at wide receiver, and I'm pumped to have him as a rookie this year. He's going to be unreal. He had a couple close catches against Derek Stingley, who is the Texans' starting cornerback, which I find quite exciting. He got a bit of separation, just couldn't quite execute. the Texans' defense was 6th last year. They were the 6th best defense. They looked really good. Their pass rush completely took over. Their defense is going to be top 5 this year for me. I really like the Texans this year. I think the offense can get cooking as well. I really like CJ. I really like Nico. They've got Nick Chubb now, which, I mean, he's coming off a huge injury. We'll see how he goes. But I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be good this year. Going back to my Panthers, the concerning part was the defense. What Canales had to say after Dave Canales, the coach. So he already said that the Stars will not be playing next week. So we've got coming off that poor game, and now the next game back is going to be week 1 of the season. So that's the last game that they've played, was that shit show. Dave Canales is saying that they won't be starting and that they need to execute the basics a bit better. Like, no shit, mate. Like, no shit, right? Very concerning that we're needing to still execute the basics when we've had the same quarterback in the system now in his 2nd year. We've got, or even 3rd year, excuse me. We've got, like, 2nd year head coach. We've got the same offensive line. We've got Thielen returning. And, like, we're trying to still execute the basics. And it's August 18th. The season is in less than 3 weeks. First NFL Sunday. Oh, I mean, it's concerning. Like, it's concerning. It was so lackluster, and we just got completely dominated. And I know it's preseason, but like, it's concerning to see. The defense is concerning to see. And I said our offense was not what I was hoping for. So, as I said, our starters are not playing next week. We'll see how we go. We'll go to Steelers. Let's play the Steelers. See if we can bounce back. I'd love to see a bounce back, just win, just in regards to see how we can bounce back as a team. But it's concerning, and it's 3 weeks away. I'm very worried about week 1. That's the Panthers done. Let's do a quick review about how NFL preseason week 2 went. Just a quick analysis. Just what I really like to see. Jackson Dart, he is a rookie quarterback for the New York Giants. I think this kid will be starting by midway through the season. I do not see Russell Wilson providing the goods for them. Winston is going to be the QB3. I don't see, unless Russ goes back to times of old, like the Super Bowl times, I don't see it. And Jackson Dart, let's go through his. He's just come off. Started this game. He went 14-16, 137 yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions. Perfect. What you want to see. Last week, he went 12-19, 154 yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions again. So, through 2 weeks, he's thrown 2 TDs, but main thing, he's had no interceptions. And he's had time to throw the ball as well. He's looking good. He is looking good. Him throwing to Neighbors, that could be a combo. That could be a scary, scary combo. I think he's got to be the starter by about mid-year. We'll see. My prediction will be about week 8, week 9. I don't think they'll go any earlier, and I think they'll be probably leaving it a little bit too late. If they leave it that late, like week 12, 13, they're probably not making the playoffs. Next one, Ashton Jonty. He had a bit of a rough game last week. He's a rookie. He's meant running back. He is meant to be the next big thing. Out of Boise State, he looked at goods for the Raiders. He scored his first touchdown. He absolutely flattened this one bloke. Absolutely killed him. Just palmed him off straight in the face. See you later. Next one, Seattle had an absolute field day on the ground against the Chiefs. They won 33-16, 268 rush yards. Oh my God. This running team for the running backs for the Seattle, it's going to be an absolute wagon. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet will share the backfield this year for running backs for Seattle. They will run a muck on teams this year. They've got San Fran in week 1. they're banged up. I think they'll just run. They're going to absolutely dominate in the ground this year. See how they go with Sammy Darnold at the back. I think he'll fit into the system quite well, but early on, I think they're going to just dominate the run. 268 rush yards in a preseason game. That is just absolutely absurd. That's a quick one for me. I did watch a little bit of the Bears-Bills game today. Caleb Williams on his first drive went for about 5 out of 6, 92 yards. Just went bang, 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 bang. Really good catches from Colston Loveland. He looks like he's going to be a talent as well and a really good tight end for the Bears. We've got 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks to go, baby! Let's go. I am keen. I am keen as absolute mustard. It is going to be so good. It's going to be so unreal. There's some awesome games in week 1. And I absolutely cannot wait. Anyway, guys, that will absolutely do it for episode 2. That was a huge episode. We covered so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Had an absolute blast. I will stay tuned with you guys during the week. I'll be posting reels. I'll be posting all sorts of stuff. So keep in touch. Stay tuned. I've got heaps of stuff planned for the future. And we will see you next week.